EIN. You have no idea how crazy it is to me that for a character so important to the story, we just gloss right over him. I'd argue that he's one of, if not the, most mysterious character. And we know nothing about him, and I'm frankly tired of it. So we all know him, we all hate him, and we were all insanely confused when Jess said he isn't Aphmau's brother. So if he's not related to Aphmau, who is this man? And more importantly, who is he to the demon warlock? I mean, you're telling me an all-powerful, brutal demon, such as the one we know from Diaries, needs a werewolf who actively does not listen to orders? Yeah, I don't think so. Let's be completely honest about something. The characters in Mystreet are often very unreliable narrators. We're often led to assume the same things the characters are in a specific situation. And because of that, we're led to assume EIN is Aphmau's brother based off of one scene.
What does it matter? You were so willing to put EIN in harm's way. I just assumed you felt the same way about your daughter.
That's not the same!
What allows you to value the life of one of your children over the other? Either they both matter, or they don't.
Kid was a monster!
And who's to say he wouldn't have been if you stuck around? You were never able to sense how useful your offspring were.
You and I both know that he was born that way. He just liked to see people suffer beneath him. That's why you liked him so much.
I mean, who wouldn't assume they're related? Zach talks about them like he fathered them both. So how could they possibly not be siblings? Unless Zach has been lied to just like we have. Look, I don't see the resemblance. Besides the fact that they're both werewolves and maybe they both have darkish hair, but they hardly look like father and son. Of course, EIN could always take after his mother. People theorize that Caitlin's mother is related to EIN, which could explain the pale skin. But something feels off about this. Despite everything, Zach and Elizabeth seem to truly care about their children. I find it hard to believe that they would have cheated on their partners, even if they were no longer in love. And I'm once again left to believe something is unreliable here. So who are EIN's parents? Honestly, he doesn't really look like anyone we've seen in Mystreet before. And it's very possible that we haven't met his relatives yet. What if... Wait. Where have I seen those eyes before? Oh my god. Oh my god, the only other characters with eyes like him are Travis and Terry, and their skin tones are close. Could EIN be related to the demon warlock? Think about it. It makes sense. And I can prove it. Diaries Season 2, Episode 29, The Wind at Sea. Aphmau and her crew get stranded on the island of the Enki warrior tribe. Aphmau is told the only way off is to seek out the demon warlock. And so, we're introduced to him for the first time. We're also introduced to Travis, who has this book. One that he's strangely protective of. Eventually, he confesses to Aphmau that it belonged to his father, the demon warlock, and that only a relative to the demon warlock can truly read the book. The only other instance of others reading the book are Lucinda and Irea, but they can't read all of it, and Lucinda can only read it for a few seconds at a time. But then why does EIN take it in the Emerald Secret? Why on earth would EIN take a book he couldn't read? How would he know that Lucinda would be able to read it? Unless the demon warlock told him. But that begs the question, Why would this all-powerful demon trust this seemingly random man who has a crazy obsession? Why Ian? Why would the demon warlock need anyone to do the work for him? Unless he isn't a random man. Unless he's Travis's brother. After all, we never see Ian perform magic before he kills Aphmau with it in season 6. Wouldn't we have seen him do it before? Now, you're probably thinking, Shayna, how would Ian be Michael's son? Why would Zach think he's his son? Well, I've got an answer for that. And it all comes down to another power of the demon warlocks that we haven't seen since Diaries. The imps. It's very possible that if Zach did cheat on Savannah, that it was with an imp that Michael then used to claim that Ian is his son. And if Zach didn't cheat, well, who's to say Michael doesn't have the power to change or manipulate memories? After all, there's a reason why the book that the demon warlock has and most of the spells within are forbidden today in Mystreet. But now you're probably thinking, Shayna, we see Michael and Ian meet in Mystreet for the first time. Well, the ruse wouldn't work if Ian knew about Michael being his father. Now would it? After all, news couldn't get out about his bloodline still being around. And we know that Michael doesn't value Ian the same way he values Travis. But why? What's the point of another son? Why would a demon warlock need someone else? He has an heir. He has someone to use. We see it in season 6. So why would he need another son? Because he needed someone to control. Someone more pliable to his goals. Someone more readily available to him. We know that his plan to kill Irene was a long time in the making. He needed a child that he could keep closer to him than Travis. Someone expendable. And the son he got was perfect. An ambitious, obsessive, psychopath, hell-bent on getting what he wants no matter the cost. He is just like the demon warlock. And his obsession with Aphmau? It's not random. The demon warlock was drawn to her in Diaries. He knew her power, and while we're still unaware of the connection between Irene, the Divine Warriors, and Michael and all of their history, we can say with absolute certainty that there were many interconnected relationships there. And while Ian seemed to understand Aphmau's power, the demon warlock didn't. He didn't see it until the final battle of season 6. But Ian, he saw her as a little saint, of great use to him, the same way the demon warlock was with Aphmau from Minecraft Diaries. His only fault being his inability to, in Michael's words, think 2 steps ahead. In the end, he couldn't follow orders. He stole the book from Michael, and he used forever potions on Aphmau. And while it's never clear if he could read the book or not, I can't imagine him being smart enough to know Lucinda could read the book with her magic. I wholeheartedly believe he assumed everyone could read it. And we only see Lucinda read it because she was the only witch able to make those potions. Being the son of the demon warlock, he had magic the whole time, but he was never taught it. It only became useful once the demon warlock was sure that he wouldn't use it stupidly, once he was under a forever potion. And therein lies the only problem with my theory. If Ian is the demon warlock's son, he'd be a cursed soul, wouldn't he? And a cursed soul can't be cursed twice. So there's no way a potion could be used on him. Wait a minute. we never see a potion being used on him. And when the demon warlock takes over Travis's body, his eyes turn green. The demon warlock is controlling Ian. That's why his eyes are sometimes green and sometimes they're normal gray. Ian is just another pawn in the game created before they were ever even alive. And in a way, it almost makes me feel bad for Ian. A boy who, if he'd been born to another father, might not have inherited Michael's horrible traits. And a boy who, if he'd really been Aphmau's brother, may have actually had the chance to be a good person and a good brother. Well, that's the theory. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it makes as much sense to you as it does to me. Remember, guys, it's just a theory. An Aphmau theory.